Ivy League celebrates 50 years of academic and athletic excellence. Experience it at ivy50.com.
And as you can see, ivy50.com for more on the internet. And for more on Yale and what Yale has done through the years in this great Ivy League, here's Candace Kruger downstairs. Candace.
Thanks, Charlie. I am joined now by Sam Rubin, who is the author of a wonderful new book on Yale football, appropriately titled Yale Football. Sam, thanks for joining us. Now, I understand you graduated from Yale in 1995 and have been working for the athletic department ever since.
Yeah, that's right, Candace. I started working on the Yale Football News back in 1995, a weekly publication put out by the Yale Football Association. So this is actually my 15th Yale-Harvard game since I was a student and since I've been working on the Yale Football News. And that really gave me my first introduction to the tradition that is Yale football.
And tell us a little bit about the book and, what inspired you to write it.
Well, actually, 3 years ago, I wrote a book called Baseball in New Haven for this very same publishing company, Arcadia. They have this Images of Sports series. They're all pictorial histories. And they approached me about writing a history of baseball in New Haven. And once I had done that, and it was relatively successful, chronicled the Yale baseball team and a lot of the local professional baseball teams, they wanted to fill in their Images of Sports series with a book about Yale football. They had actually already done one about Harvard, so how could you possibly do one about Harvard without doing one about Yale? So this is my chance.
Absolutely, and I understand you chose to put Walter Camp on the cover. Tell us why.
Walter Camp, commonly known as the father of American football, a Yale graduate, a great player and a coach who was crucial in instituting a lot of the rules and stuff that we take for granted today, such as downs and a lot of the point values. So he really, if you can only have one photograph on the cover, it has to be Walter Camp. But fortunately, there also is a photo in the background which shows Carm Koza, who was a head coach at Yale from 1965 to 1996. He's still involved with the Yale Athletics Department. He's a color commentator on our radio broadcast and somebody that I've come to know over the last several years working for the Athletics Department.
That's great. Now, this book is just an amazing photographic journey through the history. It goes all the way back to the first game back in 1872, correct?
That's right. It was a great opportunity for me. I certainly am familiar with the more recent history, and through Coach Koza came to know a lot of the players from his time, but this was my first chance to really go back to 1872, that first game, go through the 26 national championship years, and go through the role that Walter Camp played in the formation of the game as it is known today.
Sure, it's such a rich history. What is one of the stories that you found most intriguing in doing your research?
I think what I found most memorable was the 1894 Yale-Harvard game. There's actually an editorial cartoon in the book which shows kind of a before and after, and it shows a bunch of healthy Yale and Harvard players before and a bunch of very injured Yale and Harvard players after. That game was so rough it actually led to the series being banned for a couple of years and was kind of indicative of how football was played back in those days. There wasn't a lot of padding, there were no forward passes, so it was an extremely rough game.
Wow, well, thanks so much, Sam. The book is quite intriguing. We appreciate it, and I've enjoyed it very much. Good luck with everything with the book.
Thanks for having me.
And stay with us. We'll be back with stats and highlights of the first half of the 123rd meeting of the game.